everyone. So, welcome back to my channel. So, today I am doing, as I posted on my Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, and all those stories, that I am doing a Q&A about eating disorders, but more specifically like eating disorder treatment and what I've been through. So, I got some questions and we're gonna hang with it. I would have me some cup of coffee to go with this tea time, but my Keurig, since it hasn't been used in half a year since I've been gone, needs a new filter and that hasn't come in yet, so can't use my Keurig yet. Sad face. But on to the questions. And yes, it is a Taylor Swift phone case. Don't be hating. Okay. So one of the first questions is, did you know that you would need that you were going to go that you needed to go into treatment? Part of me did deep down know I needed to, um, but my eating disorder kept me in ignorance, and kept me thinking I thought I was doing amazing, until my doctor called me and told me, like, she literally said, if you don't decide in the next 48 hours to go in by yourself, I will start the process to court commit you. Um, I had the weekend. She called me on a Friday. She said, if by Monday, I'm going to do something if you don't. I sat on the floor and couldn't talk. Um, she threatened to call the cops if I didn't reply because she didn't know what was going on the other end of the phone. And I literally could not speak. It took me like a solid hour before I started crying. I just was speechless, was shocked, and um, but part of me knew deep down. Hello.
Hello. And goodbye. Hello.
Sorry, he's getting his headphones to mow the lawn. Um, Short little feature of my fiance. We are gonna do a video where he gives his side of things too. So we'll call that a little sneak peek. Um, On to the next question. So my next question is, okay. Do you regret going to residential? And what was residential like? So I do not regret going to residential versus inpatient because I don't know if any of you know, but I've been in the same inpatient place, the only one in the state of Iowa, every time I've been into treatment. So I went across the country to Florida to go to treatment and residential instead of inpatient, and it was one of the most scariest, traumatic, but worthwhile experiences of my life. When I went there, I got discharged late at night on like a Wednesday night. My dad picked me up, drove me home. I quickly made sure I had everything I like rearranged everything to pack to take on an airplane. Went to bed for 4 hours, got up at 4 a.m., went to the airport, found out my plane was delayed an hour because of technical mechanical issues, missed my layover, had an extra 5 hour layover in Charlotte where I stayed in the airport crying my eyes out, went to the booth or to the information center trying to get a new ticket to go home. But the next two flights to my home airport were booked. Is that a sign or is that a sign? I literally sat there. I don't even know. It wasn't even my correct, like, place to be. But I just sat in a random group of people, not even at the right gate. Some random gate, just sitting there on the chair, crying my eyes out, watching The Bachelorette. Like, if that's not a low point in life, I don't know what is. And I ended up getting there at like 6:45 p.m. to the residential center, and one of the admission counselors stayed there for me, um, to make sure I was admitted and didn't have to spend the night in the hotel. So I was very thankful. So, yeah, next question. What was communication with your family like and loved ones like during being away during residential? So the first 3 days you could not have your phone. When you hit residential, they took it, boom, bada boom, 3 days, you could not have your phone. Call, text, nothing. So I had to call my mom as I was like, as soon as I got there and said, hey, I'm here, bye, boom. Fiance, hey, I'm here, bye. Sister, hey, I'm here, bye. And then turn my phone. We Gucci. 3 days later, I was able to have my phone, but you're only able to have it for an hour from 4 to 5 every day when you're in residential. Um, Except for Sundays, we're able to have it in the morning for an hour and a half, too, on top of it, because that was church time, because we couldn't go to church because of COVID. So they let us have our phones during that time for people to watch the online services. I use that time not to do that because I wanted to communicate with people because I barely had time to communicate with everybody during that hour a day. So, yeah. So you only got that hour a day. I called and text people. Spent a lot of time FaceTiming my fiance, seeing my dog who's staring at the door waiting for my fiance to come in from mowing the lawn because he's obsessed with my fiance. One day he'll love me. And so, yeah, that was communication. In PHP, when I transferred, you weren't able to have your phone during programming. Like, you had to put it in this little basket in the office. But then at the end of the day, when we left programming, you just grabbed it and you had it all night. So, yeah. Next question. Okay. I know on social media you posted about your grandmother's passing when you were in treatment. How did that all play out? So I ended up finding out Easter morning about my grandma's passing. She had passed the Monday before Easter. Monday, Tuesday is before Easter. They found her Wednesday, but they said she had been passed for a little bit. But that's a whole other thing. Anyway, I did not have my phone because I had it taken away because I was using behaviors. So I got to call my mom on my parents on the landline for Easter to wish them happy Easter. And my mom didn't know when I would get my phone back. So she told me then because she didn't want me to find out from anybody else but them. She thought that was such important, obviously, having news that she wanted to be the one to tell me and not me find out from a friend texting me, hey, I'm sorry about the passing, or here on social media. Like, she wanted me to know. I ended up crying. I'm walking out of the residential center, our residential house, and walked across the yard to the horses, stared at the horses, and cried, and cried, and cried. I've never cried such an ugly cry in my life. Like, I had snot dripping everywhere. I could not literally for an hour even say to anybody what had happened. Like, I literally, like, they were trying to get me to tell them what was going on. Like, why did a man like Libby, like, just, but I could not. I was, sorry, my microphone. I literally could not speak. Like, I was just it was so unexpected and just the last thing I expected to hear that I just could not even find the words to speak. And I found out right before lunch. And so when people came out to find me, I was like, lunchtime. And I looked at her like, try me, bro. Because the last thing my mom wanted to do, and I wanted to do, was go in and sit and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a whole 9-course meal. Nah. How are things with your mind and the restoration process that you had to go through and handling it now and then? When I went into treatment, obviously I knew I needed to be on a restoration meal plan. Residential centers wouldn't take me because my weight was so low and my health was so bad. I had to go to the hospital. They're like, we can't take you. You need to go to the hospital. So I knew my weight was way too low. And the restoration process was painful. I mean, you're literally eating an amount of food to gain weight. I know in this society, it's a scary thing. People don't want to gain weight. Gaining weight is a frowned upon thing. So I felt guilty for that. My eating disorder made me feel guilty for that. I just felt disgusting. Luckily, they had a little, like, the scale didn't have a number thing on it. They had, like, this little, like, it's like literally this size of a screen, that battery operated thing that they held over here that showed the weight. So we obviously didn't see our weight at all. We had to do blind weights, but, like, obviously I could tell things were happening, and it was very hard. Especially when they started adding and adding and adding onto my meal, because they slowly had to, like, start me because of refeeding syndrome. They couldn't, like, just because then I could have refeeding syndrome and you can die from that. So, but when they kept adding on supplements and supplements, like, it got overwhelming. Um, but I think, especially coming home the other day, like, I had saw my weight since coming home. And it really hit me when I saw that number, and my first thought was, like, I need to lose weight. I need to go for a run. I need to purge. Like, those thoughts did come up, but I said, ho now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I am where I'm at right now, and yes, that number does not look good to my brain, to my eating disorder, but it looks good to everything I want to do in life. I am finally at a place where I can do belly laughs. I can laugh and enjoy my life. I can go out to Starbucks and get pumpkin spice drinks with my sister and friends. I can go on a date night with my fiance. I can take my dog for a walk and not feel like I'm going to pass out. Like, I can live life. And if that means being at a number that I'm not comfortable with, then that is what is going to have to happen. And I'm just going to have to learn and accept that my eating disorder it's never going to like what number my weight is at. Never going to like that number on the scale. I got to a deadly weight, low weight, and my eating disorder was still not happy and still wanted me lower. My eating disorder is never going to be happy with whatever number's on that scale. And I weighed out the pros and the cons in my brain in that second and said, you know what? Fudge this. I'm going to go still eat my snack. And I ate my second snack, and I went to bed, and I slept a good, peaceful sleep. But, yeah. Okay. How supportive were your loved ones during this time? A lot of my loved ones obviously were not dumb and not blind. They knew what was going on with me, and they knew I needed help. Everyone begged me for a solid year before going in that I needed to go into treatment. I mean, my parents flew me out and back. My fiance called me and texted me every day. My sister sent me stuff and called me and FaceTimed me whenever she could. I had such a great support system, and I think that's made such a difference. Because coming home, there's been so many people I didn't even know paid attention to me. The person in the gas station in our town said, "You look so amazing. I'm so glad to see you back. It's so nice to see your smiling face again." Like, people I didn't even know really even cared about me have been commenting or texting me and saying, "We're so proud of you." Like, Blake's dad said the other day, like, "I am rooting for you. I am so happy for you, and I'm here for you." Like, it just, the overabundance it really has made a difference. So yeah. Last question. What are you doing now that you're home to prevent relapse? That's a good one to end on. I would say I'm seeing a primary care, a dietitian, a therapist, all specialized with eating disorders, and a support group. My therapist invited me to virtually, which is going to be amazing because I didn't know they had support groups in Iowa for this type of thing, really. So that's really nice. And I've been really open and honest, a lot more than I have been before. Like, I've been able to tell Blake, like, yo, this is what's up. Like, this is what's going on. Like, I'm terrified of having a s'more because those are literally giant marshmallows and 10 times the size of a regular marshmallow, and it's scaring me a little. Like, I'm able to be open and honest, and I'm also not blind to the fact that I caused a lot of damage from my eating disorder, and I'm going to have to repair a lot of relationships and a lot of bridges that I burned. Libby might be a general sweetheart and a people pleaser and love people and just want to be a joy, but my eating disorder does not, and it caused a lot of damage to my loved ones and those around me, and I have to own up to that, and I have to be an adult and admit that I did wrong and that I hurt people, and I have to repair the damage that I did, and earn back people's trust and respect and love. So that's just, yeah. And I did start a new job this past week. It's going good, so it's just nice and a nice fresh beginning, especially with can't see him. The microphone's hiding him. That little dude. The window's a little bright, but my dog. Um, so stay tuned for another video. I'm gonna do one with Blake, like I said, and some more in this series, just about what's been going on. So stay tuned. Love you all, and please subscribe.